consistently. I call it the curse of Babel. Let me just fix this thing. I call it the curse of Babel, that every generation needs to update language. Imagine if you could read manuscripts from 2,000 years ago and they just meant the same thing that they do now. Like 2 + 2 = 4. And that was it. 2 + 2 is always equal 4. And now there's all these people trying to change that to destroy mathematics. I don't know. It's a bizarre time we live in. Anyway, it's another box of dogs.
Yeah, but I know what'll make you feel better.
Oh, no, not another box of dogs!
It's another box of dogs!
The thing does show the Box of Dogs website up there. I'm not even sure if that's still active. The payment might not have gone through. I got to drop the dog. I think that's just some scam that they do. Anyway, it is still up there for now. I started a couple of extra streaming things today since we're not currently going to... we can't go to YouTube at the moment. I am back on X now, so we are going to X at the moment, as far as I know. Yeah, we're streaming to X, Rumble. Those are the only two I really care that much about, to be honest. But we're also now going to Twitch, because I thought, screw it, let's just throw on a Twitch channel. And I'll restream these later to Kick, Facebook, and... I can't go... I did start a locals, I think I said that, but... I still haven't quite figured out the locals thing. I think you have to kind of be using the Rumble studio thing, which I hate. I really hate the Rumble studio thing. So I won't be using that. If I can't operate it from OBS, I'm not fucking around with it. Anyway, I got a bunch of stuff here. This first one, hang on. Just had to take my medicine. The chat is working today. I was tempted to actually keep streaming to Kick initially, but I've never streamed to Twitch before, so I thought I'd just throw up and we'd go to Twitch. But I really was tempted to go to Kick because I once had someone from Iraq on there. Iraq! Cradle of civilization. Cradle of shit civilization. Anyway, so I came across this thing. I came across this video a little while ago and immediately identified it as rage bait, which it is. But these people, being the clever motherfuckers they are, they have used this video very well. So I'm going to show you this video. You'll see the video. The title at the top there, shocking video. I'll pull it down in a minute and we'll see the full thing, what it's saying, because that's relevant to this story that I'm talking about. But the initial, when this video first came along, it was basically saying, Islam, check out what Islam does, and Sharia law. It was saying something about Sharia law. Anyway, let's watch the video.
وانا لسه بكلمك والامتى انا هفضل افهمك من يوم ما قابلتك قلت لك لو بصيت بره هزعلك لو بصيت بره هزعلك مسيطرة همشيك مسطرة.
So it's apparently a guy making out with his 9-year-old bride there. Right, that's what we're seeing there. Some guy making out with his 9-year-old bride. Everyone was getting shocked, going, oh, this is outrageous. How could he? How dare he? How very dare he? We would never. So, the reality is that that is not what it is. They've put the Middle Eastern music over there. They've put the stupid squiggly writing over it, which probably says something like 3 kebabs for $10. I kind of knew straight away that it was rage bait. I knew there was more to the story. I asked Grok to tell me what was going on. I was thought, well, if Grok's good for anything. But Grok didn't want to touch it. Grok didn't want to have anything to do with it. Because Grok's a pussy. Anyway. So apparently it's an Italian
You might have come
wedding.
across this video circulating online, claiming to show Sharia law in practice and suggesting that this young girl is actually a child bride. But this is completely false. The clip has nothing to do with Islam. It was filmed at a Catholic wedding in Italy, and the young girl isn't a bride. She's the man's daughter. A reverse image search shows the clip was actually filmed at a Catholic church in Palermo, Sicily. Bride and groom, visible in other clips from the same day, are the child's parents. In the full video, originally posted on TikTok by a wedding guest, you can see the bride give the bouquet to her daughter before her father presents her with a ring. During this moment, the father and daughter...
Anyway, you get the point. This is something, someone's grabbed off it and gone, oh, that looks suspicious. Let's jump on it. So, people in the comments, wherever this video pops up, people go fucking insane. People are like, oh my God, how could he? How very could he? How dare he? All of that stuff. However, some rather smart people who know how to work this shit. How do I turn off the friggin... Hang on. I'm going to turn off the show. Okay, good. Now, good. Now you don't see the cursor. Good. One of those things I should have figured out 100 episodes ago. Anyway, so Iraq decreased the age of marriage to 9 years old. Shocking video where a little girl is getting married. So now, again, all right, I'm going to put the volume down on this. So again, it is not the little girl getting married. But that doesn't matter. They have used this. They're very clever, these fuckers, that absolutely just manipulate social media for their own ends. It's brilliant. It's a brilliant move. So they have gotten out the message that Iraq has decreased the age of marriage to 9 years old. Now, the video... it doesn't really matter because they know it's rage bait. Now, let's check this claim. Is it true? The age of sexual consent in Iraq is generally considered to be 18 for sexual intercourse outside of marriage. The minimum legal marriage age had been 18, but recent legal changes have created exceptions that allow for child marriage with girls as young as 9 and boys as young as 15, potentially being married under certain religious interpretations. So, they have used this rage bait to get people, to make people aware of this issue. And it does seem to be quite a serious issue, although still... I would like a lot more information on it. Because I don't know if you know anything. I should have gone to Kick. Because I had that Iraqi guy. He could have come on and fucking defended his country. Because the point for me is I don't care. Like these fuckers, they went right for the fuck. They just went right to 9. They were like, 12? No. 9. You marry a 9-year-old, you're gonna be having a 7-year itch when your wife is 16. Or your friend's like, 16? Yeah, that's so old. Like, it's sick, it's fucked, whatever. But I don't believe the point of this is to raise awareness on behalf of these girls. This is something where the religion can step in and the religion can make special dispensations. The legal age is still 18 as far as I can tell. However, religious groups can step in, and probably it's a bunch of fucking desert-dwelling camel fuckers, for all I know, that are out there marrying 9-year-olds. And by 9, when you're living in the desert, that's old. You're probably only going to make it to 12. Just look up real quick. Fucking unbelievable they can marry 9-year-olds. Let me just look up real quick. Flights to Iraq. Just kidding. I was not sure whether to do that joke. I did it for the slaves. I did that joke for the slave thing. I thought it was pretty funny. Maybe didn't deliver it that well, but I don't care. No, the reason is the reason I don't fucking care about this shit is because the same reason I don't care about racism, because they're using it as control. They're using it to control us. They're using it to... The same with the Palestine thing. Everyone was out protesting the Palestine thing. No one was paying attention to what was going on at home. So it's like, at what point are you going to, at what point are you going to fix your own fucking country first before telling the rest of the world how to live? We're bringing in, and look, I know quite a few Indian people. I like them. They're fine. But when you bring in conflicting cultures, for example, here's something I noticed. The Bible, right, the foundation of Christian society, says thou shalt not kill. The Bhagavad Gita says, don't be a pussy, fucking kill them. They're a bunch of evil fucks. Like, do you notice the difference? That might cause some cultural conflict. I mean, with the whole Palestine thing as well, I'm over that. I'm like, they did really well with it in inciting people into this frenzy of like, look how fucking... But both sides were using propaganda. Both sides were using fucking, whatever they could. But I would side with the Palestinians in the conflict. However, at what point do you simply accept the fact that there is a freight train barreling down on you? Like, if you're not aware, that Israel is going to become the new kingdom of the world. This is why they're pushing for open borders. They want this open border shit. The only place in the world there will be borders will be around Israel. That will be... But Israel will be huge by then. There'll be a chunk of Egypt. Syria will be gone. It's just... They are an ever-expanding empire. So, you are, and good luck to them. God bless them. I'm down with them. I'll promote them if they pay me. Give me $7,000 a post. I'm getting fucking... I'm fucking... My business is not doing well. 7,000 a post? I'll be posting 24/7, motherfucker. Pro-Israel horse shit. No, I'm kidding, of course. I would never. Unless they paid me. I'll never sell out unless it's for money. The point is, like, I would never sell out my principles for less than a certain amount. You know what I'm saying? Anyway, what the fuck is that? What's going on there? Why is that? What the hell? There's some little, like a thumbs up thing in the corner there. I don't know what that is, but anyway. Let's not worry about that now, shall we? I don't know. I got a ton of stuff I wanted to talk about, but let me just shut my phone up here because the boys are talking about a nothing phone, and it's going to get annoying. Tell you what I have been watching. I've been watching a bunch of videos from producer Rick Rubin, and the dude's a fucking genius. Like, I don't care what. Like, I know Owen Benjamin has talked about him, but if I'd have found him, if Rick Rubin, if these videos had been around like 30 years ago, I'd still be a producer today. I'd be working as a producer, because the guy's a friggin' genius. And lots of chutzpah. I don't know if chutzpah is anything like a foot spa, but anyway. But yeah, imagine if we had just a common language that didn't change. I call it, if anyone, I'm not aware of anyone else talking about this, and this is something I've been thinking about for a while. And I imagine that some people have talked about it. If anyone knows of any good books or YouTube videos or websites where people are talking about this, please comment links or comment the name of the book or whatever. But I call it the Babel curse, or the curse of Babel, where like the whole story of Babel is like they were building the tower, and so God went, well, now you all speak different languages, and so they couldn't communicate. But it's like that wasn't enough. So it was like every generation has to subvert and change language. So language has to be this commonly evolving, ridiculous fucking thing where, like, I can't speak to a 20-year-old and understand everything they're saying. That's only 30 years. So if you went back 200 years, you'd struggle to know what the fuck people were talking about, because they'd have their own version of the thing. If you went back another 200 years before that, or another two before that, you'd be struck. It would be like people were speaking a foreign language. You wouldn't even know what the fuck people were saying. But so imagine if we had a common language with the past. So imagine if English had never changed. Imagine if people were, imagine being able to read 1,000-year-old English text and know what they're saying and just go, oh yeah, that's what they mean. Imagine if words meant what they fucking mean. Imagine if things just meant what they fucking mean. And if you want to come up with some new definition for a word, you create a new word. You add to the language. You don't just fucking evolve. Oh, gender now means the colour of the socks you like to wear. Oh, is that what it is? I don't know. Those are my thoughts. But they're doing it with language. They're doing it with the language of mathematics now. This was my whole point about, here you go. Look, Iraq, where they're going to marry 9-year-old girls, they're really the most progressive place on the planet. How progressive is that? If you go in and say, no, that's wrong, well, you're anti-progressive, aren't you? I mean, that's so fucking progressive, right? Hi, Sarah Romero. Isn't Iraq the most progressive place on the planet, really? Marrying 9-year-old girls. Because isn't that what... This was my point about progressivism and Jim Jones. I'm all for progress. I'm all for progress. I'm all for progressivism. But when progressivism becomes progressive for the sake of being progressive, you end up in a bad place and everyone drinks the Kool-Aid and it is death. It's a really frustrating time to just be neither left nor right. It's really fucked. People are like, oh no, if you're not hardcore on the right, then fuck you. If you're not hardcore on the left, then fuck you. I think the left have got some good ideas. I think the right have got some good ideas. I think the left have got some fucked ideas. I think the right have got some fucked ideas. And all the people, that's insane to do that. And you just pull back to like, but no one wants to be sensible anymore. No one wants to have common sense. It's nuts. But meanwhile, this horse shit of like, oh, look what they're doing in Iraq. I don't fucking care. I don't care if they're marrying 2-year-olds. I don't care if they're dicking each other in the dirt with donkeys. Fuck them. Can we fix our country first? And then we can tell the rest of the world what to do. You know, democracy is such a fucked up idea. First of all, you've got America, the country that is not a fucking democracy, spreading democracy around the world. That's got to give you a clue to how fucked democracy is. Surely. Surely you got to see a problem with that. When they're like, democracy is the greatest thing ever. Oh, really? Are you a democracy? No. We're a constitutional republic. It's slightly different. But still, democracy is the best, and we want to spread it to everywhere around the world. Why? Because we can control you. We can tell you what to think. We can bark at idiots, and they'll do what we say. Remember that phrase, diversity is our strength? Remember that? Remember diversity is our strength? My question is, who was our? Who was the we in that statement? Because it's not our strength. It's not the people on the ground. It's not a strength for us. If you're a banker or a business owner where you want people to, like, if you want slaves that you can lock into a contract where they have no collective bargaining power and your wages stagnate, and if you're a landholder, if you're a rent seeker, if you're a rent-seeking piece of shit with 10 investment properties, yeah, diversity's great. Because your rents go up, home prices go up, people are thrown out of the housing market, can't afford a house, but your houses go up. So yeah, for you, diversity is a strength. And I hang out with all these comedians that are always going on about how diversity is our strength. It's so great being this diverse. Why? Because we get better food. That is always what it comes down to. We get better food. I like the food they bring. Right? So, the millionaires and billionaires, they're getting untold profits and absolute control. And the landholders, their investments are going up like crazy, and they're making more and more money from their rent. Meanwhile, you can't afford to rent a place. You certainly can't afford to buy a place. But you get a souvlaki. Really? You're happy with that, are you? You fucking turds. That's your whole fucking thing. Comedians are the fucking worst. I gotta tell you, comedians are just fucking go along people. They're like, oh, this is what the narrative is. I'll push this narrative and I'll be edgy. People think I'm edgy and sweet because I'm so comedians are the worst. Comedians are supposed to be the people that push back, but they're not. They haven't been for a long time. There are very few comedians. There really hasn't been a comedian since Bill Hicks that has really, and then the few that do it since, Jimmy Dore and people like that. The few that do, they get destroyed. I went and saw Jeff Dye a little while ago. He was good. I'd seen all of his jokes on YouTube already, which is weird. It's like seeing the special before seeing him and then seeing him perform the special. But I like him anyway. It was very good. I had an offshoot for the diversity is our strength thing. I should probably take notes. Anyway, hi Sarah Romero. Where are you from? I see you're watching on X. I commented on something a little while now. There's people arguing about it, which is fun. I'm glad because it makes me feel like I'm achieving something. So, shout out to my boy Nitro. How are you, Tommy? Tommy contacted me a little while ago and just said, have you seen Candace Owens' tweet? Now, it's very interesting because some things have come from Candace's tweet that... I saw the tweet. The tweet was basically the tweet where she was saying... like she's gonna be murdered by the French. Hey, Sandy. She was gonna be murdered by the French secret whatever. The secret snail-eating, fucking blue cheese snorting faggots. And there's nothing really to back it up. It was just like, I've got proof and all of this stuff. Anyway, Andrew Wilson broke it down really well. But to me, the whole thing screamed of just someone spiraling and wanting attention. I hope they don't kill it. But, like, she's throwing out so much stuff. It just really does seem like... I had a couple of friends years ago, Bruce and Carmela. And Bruce was one of those guys. He was just one of the loveliest people you ever met. Everyone who met Bruce just always came away going, wow, what a fucking awesome dude. Like that. He was just that guy that everyone that met him was just like, that guy's amazing. He's welcome here anytime. And he and Carmela hooked up and they became a team. And then they moved to Sydney. And this was back in, I want to say the late 90s, early 2000s when Cabramatta was the place to be if you liked severely hard narcotics. So one day, Bruce went off to Cabramatta and picked up. He went back to his car and he OD'd and he died. And it was very sad. I've got way too many fucking stories about people who died. Don't do drugs, kids. So that began 9 months of Carmela spiraling. And there was nothing anyone could do. And then one day my brother came in and he just said to me, Carmela bit the big one. Because that's how he would tell me that someone died. It's just kind of how commonplace it was. It was fucked. But that's what Candace's insanity reminds me of. And I don't know if she can come up with some proof or something. But this, I mean, to me, it just seems like someone fucking with her, like, because they can. Someone high up in the French government gave her information and she sent it off to the American government, which they received. There's no evidence that they have acted on it or have confirmed it, but they have received the information. She's using that as like a gotcha of like, look, the American government have received it. Anyway, Danny Polishuk has done quite an interesting thing, and then we'll jump over to the other fella he mentions, because that... So in this video, he's kind of ragging on Candace a bit, but he brings up someone who there's genuine concern for and genuine interest in what's happened to this guy.
Candace Owens is saying France had Charlie Kirk killed. I know last week she was saying that the French were trying to have her killed.
It's kind of got to make you wonder, because for so long everyone was saying it was Israel, and now she's misdirecting and going, no, it was France. What did France have? What was France's involvement? How is that? I don't understand how that's really, like, that's kind of out of left field. It's kind of like saying Iran assassinated JFK. It makes no sense.
With the help of a single Israeli. Now, I don't follow. I'm sure some of you watch Candace Owens. I don't really watch Candace Owens. Can someone tell me, though? Because she's been making a lot of claims since September 10th when Charlie Kirk was killed. She's been generally making a lot of claims. That's kind of the business she's in, is just saying wild shit. More power to her.
That is the business she's in. That's the point I'm making about it. That is her business. Like, and when the fuck did international intrigue and spy drama become the entertainment of the day?
Has anything been confirmed that she said? Has she been right about a single thing? Like, has there been one thing where you go, Candace Owens nailed that? We can't believe it. She broke it open. Because she says tons of wild shit, which seems like a good business model for her.
She has nailed a few things.
I should maybe start saying more wild shit.
That's what everyone on the internet does, Danny.
Maybe that's what's holding the show back, is I don't say enough unfounded, unsubstantiated nonsense. But that's what she's saying now, is that France had something to do with Charlie Kirk being killed, which I didn't know the French got down like that, but maybe they do. And I'm not even saying that she's wrong. All I'm saying is, of all of her claims, has a single one been substantiated? Interesting.
I have no idea if any of her claims have been substantiated, but she got where she is for a reason.
Thing, by the way, if you guys remember John Cullen, who was on this show shortly after Charlie Kirk was assassinated.
This is where it gets
interesting. He's talking about
interesting.
there was these like spy planes and all this stuff. If you know John Cullen, he did all the work on the Las Vegas shooting, and he was on this show. And I hadn't really noticed it because he tweeted a lot. He was a guy, he was tweeting all the time. And apparently he's just disappeared. The guy has, let me just confirm this. Because there were people who were like, we were trying to reach out to him. We can't.
This was very interesting. So John Cullen, actually I'll let him tell it. He was posting a lot of stuff about the Las Vegas shooting. If you're not familiar with the Las Vegas shooting, that's another one of those rabbit holes that when you go down, you're like, holy fuck. You know what I mean?
Can't get a hold of him. Yeah, like if you type in John Cullen, literally John Cullen missing is one of the things that comes up on Twitter. So he hasn't tweeted since October 12th, which was around when he was on the show, I believe. Something like that. But he's just disappeared. He has completely disappeared. Just dropped, and you know, he was tweeting 50 times a day.
Yeah, so John Cullen has just completely disappeared. Here's his Anybody heard from John Cullen? Last post was 10/12/25. Weird, he would just stop posting. He's also one of the first to bring up the plane situation regarding Charlie's assassination. So he had gotten on to, like, let's check out his... that's just a screenshot. Let's go to I am John Cullen. This guy, yeah, so his last post, his pinned post was from 2024. His last post was October 13. He reposted something on October 13. So 3 days after... Is that 3 days after Charlie was wasted? And look, he's got a Patreon. His Patreon, last post, 12th of October. So, yeah. Seems like there's some cleaning up going on around the place. It's interesting. He posted a lot of stuff. Jeez, Dassault vacancy. He's just like going nuts. SUBND, a Gulfstream.
So this aircraft belongs to the Egyptian government. It is a Gulfstream 4SP, registration SUBND, and it's in Provo, Utah. 4 weeks ago, an Egyptian Gulfstream, meaning not like Egyptian cotton, like.
So what the hell has happened to John Cullen? Prison? Is he in prison? Because that happens when you go to prison, you just disappear. However, I would imagine there are certain, like, I don't know, you can end up in a prison and simply disappear. That is something that does happen. So that's kind of, it just seems like the best outcome in that situation. I don't know, this is how dangerous and weird it's all getting. It's just nuts out there. This is why I don't really care. I am like, I really don't. I'm not invested in any of this stuff anymore. This stuff, I don't know. Like, until we start focusing on local affairs, which we'll get to in a bit. Yeah, this stuff will continue to happen, and we know how the world works now. We know vaguely who's behind running this shit, although I don't think we'll ever find out who's really behind it all. And I still believe that there is a spiritual aspect to this that most people aren't seeing. Most people don't want to see. I think most people tend to think, you know, there are people behind the scenes pulling strings and whatnot. And absolutely there are. These things happen. But I do believe that there's a spiritual aspect behind this. And it works both ways. And this next video is Owen. Big ups to Owen for putting this one up. I really like this video because this is really how life works a lot of the time. when you're tuned in, when you're focused. The whole Rick Rubin philosophy is do it for God, really. That's like if you're making art, don't do it for the audience, do it for God. And you don't know what it's a beautiful philosophy because you don't know what impresses God. What impresses God is originality in you. It's a beautiful it's a beautiful philosophy. It's what I'm trying to do. I've been trying to write some music. I'm kind of stuck a little bit, but I've got a couple of songs I'm working on. But this is a great example of how life really works, and it works both ways. This is what I mean. It works to the negative and the positive. But this is a great video of how things work.
All right, I just got to share this experience about how just magical life is. So I'm heading up to Ursa Rio to work on the my streaming platform, and I'll be on a ladder and it's icy, and my wife's like, make sure you wear boots. I'm like, oh yeah, love, of course. And of course, I'm driving to the post office about to head up, and I'm just wearing my normal stupid slip-on shoes that are very slippery, and I literally slip and fall down constantly, and I'm like, ah. And then I just open the mail. A listener just sent me boots, like workman's boots, just like and guys, that's very, very rare. Like that isn't a thing. And in my mind, I was just like, oh man, I wish I had brought those boots. I'll be extra careful. And then I just open the locker and it's just boots. And I'm like, wow, life is a beautiful and magical place. And I just want to share that.
Life is a beautiful and magical place. It works both ways. That's my point about it. It works both ways. And if you focus on the negative shit all the time, what you're going to generate in your life is more negative shit. So it's better to focus on the positive shit. But yeah, I just really like that video. This is interesting. I thought this was kind of interesting. There's someone, they're just pouring money on a baby, and they say it's the culture. Well, I think that's a way better culture. The one I was brought up in, I was taught to have this like really negative opinion of money. Money is the root of all evil and all that shit, which is not even the actual fucking quote. I've covered that a million times. I would say that's a good thing to do. Give your kids a positive experience with money. Give them a healthy, it's just energy. Money is just energy. That's all it is. The notes are just expressions of energy. So yeah, douse your baby in money. That's my advice. That's probably the youngest stripper I've ever seen. Alright, got a real fucking underage thing going on. I don't know, that freaks me out. 9 years old. That's a little bit young. I mean, they just skipped right over 12. Anyway, I thought this was an interesting video.
Could you ever cheat on me?
Absolutely. That's why I don't make dumb decisions like talking to guys one-on-one or hanging out in like compromising situations. I'm a human being, you're a human being, and I'm sorry, babe, I don't know if this is hard for you to hear, but everybody is absolutely capable of infidelity in the right/wrong circumstances.
Oh, okay.
That's why boundaries are so important. You're never going to see me in a situation, even if people think I might be too strict, I don't care, because I'm not taking that chance.
Amen.
I'm not putting myself in a position to even be close to a position to potentially fall to temptation. I'm going to keep it 100 because anyone is capable of cheating, but I will not be cheating on you.
Excellent. I love that.
I love you.
That's a terrific video as far as I'm concerned.
Could you ever cheat?
That's such a good video. That breaks the whole thing down really well, because That's one of the issues I think a lot of people have now is they're like, no, I just want to continue living my life the same way I did. You put yourself in those situations, you're going to fuck up. That's why I avoid certain situations. There are certain situations that I know that if I go and hang out with certain people, I'm going to do things that I will regret for about a week. Because it will take me a week to get my head back and get physically capable of doing anything again. Because I just know that's like the chances of me doing that if I get in that situation are like about 50-50, and that's more than I want to fuck with. So I simply don't put myself in those situations. And that's what maturity is. It's like when people get married, you stop going to the club. I don't know why that is a controversial thing to say. But that woman, she fucking nailed it. She fucking nailed it right on the head. So I thought it was worth playing that video. Anyway. Free electricity with magnets. Check out these guys using this magnets as a pump. I'd rather use a tap. But I guess they don't have that choice. Of course, I don't know if this is real or they've got this thing hooked up and this is just some bullshit video. I don't know if this would work or not. Each one repelling the next one. I have no idea if this would work or not, but it seems kind of neat. Anyway, what else we got? Oh, the unpopular opinion. This is great. This is this is the person that's reposted this has put in quotes unpopular opinion. Actually, it should be retarded opinion because this is one of the most retarded opinions I've ever heard.
Unpopular opinion. If you have a credit card and you hate people who ask for handouts, you are a person asking for a handout. A credit card is somebody else's money. So for all you right-wingers who are all, oh, stop giving people handouts.
She doesn't know how the economy works. That's always fun. Anyway, yeah, she's clearly an idiot. She goes on to talk about how a credit card is basically a handout. I guess she's just planning on never paying back her credit card. Which is, you know, that's one plan. That's one way to handle debt. And I'm all for it. Just don't pay it back. The agreement you make, though, it's like the opposite of a handout. It's the opposite of a handout and then some. Because not only are you agreeing to pay back the principal, you're agreeing to pay like minimum 20% on that loan. So yeah, I don't know much about the economy, but I know that much. I do think that people should stop paying taxes and should stop paying back their debts. Because, like I would say, the move right now with what's coming. Apparently, with what's apparently coming, I would say the boss move is to get as much debt as you can. Like, take out as many loans as you can, get into as much debt as possible, and then default. In about 6 to 8 months, you default along with everybody else. Because everybody else is going to be doing it. As long as there's not really anything they can take. Just go bankrupt in about, I don't know, maybe 5 or 6 months. I don't know how long it's going to be. But there's defaults here in Australia. Defaults are up to 30% on mortgages. Now, these are not full defaults, but it's people falling into, like, they miss payments. It's over 30%, which is kind of an indicator of things going wrong. Now, I don't know, again, I don't know if it's people defaulting completely, but there are so many people, just 30%, people missing payments, and that's got to come in at around 5% of people defaulting, 4 to 5%. So we're back at like 2006, 2007 kind of situation. And that's because there's all these suburbs which are actually a suburb which my friend Harvey lived in a little while ago is now on this list of the most massively inflated areas. And there's quite a few areas, and they're really nice areas. That's the other thing. These really nice areas where families go to buy a house, and that the defaults are through the roof. It's phenomenal. It's kind of amazing. Anyway, that's what's going on with the economy. I really do think, like, it does look like, I think what's going to happen, I kind of suspect that it might, like, now this is not financial advice, I don't know, I'm just guessing, but I kind of half think that maybe it's a good time to buy Bitcoin because it's about to shoot up. It will, like, as the rest of the market crashes, because there's nothing behind it, because it is purely a store of value asset. It's not a real asset. There's nothing behind it. It is all hopes and dreams. Bitcoin is your hopes and dreams. I kind of have a feeling that it could skyrocket. I kind of have a feeling it's going to keep dropping and dropping and dropping. I haven't looked at it in a few days. I can't bear to look at it at the moment because I'm losing thousands every time I look at it. I hope it's come back up. But I kind of have this feeling that it's going to drop quite a ways because people are pulling money out to bet against the market. That's my feeling, that people are pulling money out of Bitcoin in order to bet against the market. And then when the market crashes, they will drop that back into Bitcoin and the price will go through the roof. So there will be this, I don't know, this is purely speculation. This is just a guess. I think for a long time it will stay down, but yeah. I mean, the smart bet right now is to bet against the market, as far as I can see. But you're in for a long-term bet, and you need to be able to stabilize that bet, and that could cost you a lot of money. So I don't know. And you need to be in a situation where, like, I used to trade on plus 500, and any time I would lose money, they would just let me sink down to a margin call. Anytime I made money and the market was going in the direction I predicted, whether it was up or down, when it went into free fall, I bet against the market one time, it went into free fall, they closed out my bet. Like, my profits hit about $3,000 and they just went, we can't afford to pay you anymore. And I've fucking hated them ever since. I would not touch that shitty bee-booking, cock-sucking platform again, ever. I'll be sticking with the banks. I mean, as much as I hate the banks, at least they're kind of honestly dishonest. So Myron Gaines, I normally agree with a lot of what this guy says. I like a lot of what this guy says. I think he's funny, he's smart. I don't always agree with what he says, but the way he says things, I think, is very good. I like him. But this one, to me, just in my opinion, I think he's a little bit fucking retarded in this one.
I don't cook. All right?
He doesn't cook.
And the reason why I don't cook is because it's a big time waster and you have to have a bunch of stuff in the house to do it. Pots, pans, all this stuff. All right? Now, I've done this before with Brandon Carter. Figure out how much you make an hour or what you're worth an hour. Okay? I'll be honest. A lot of you guys are going to figure out once you do the math that cooking for yourself is extremely burdensome, time consuming, and you could probably use that time to make more money. Okay? Me and Brandon have the joke, we say cooking is for poor people. I'll be honest with you guys, in a lot of ways it is. Okay? I highly suggest you either A, eat out, or B, smarter option is to get a meal prep service.
I don't know where to start with this one because he's being really fucking retarded. Getting a meal prep service is you still have to cook it. It often takes... we had a meal prep service when we lived in Mildura. We tried it out for a while. And it's shitty. They send you all the stuff, you make it. You eat some interesting meals. It's kind of nice. But it's never enough. It's like you make these 2 small meals and then you go back, you want more. They're terrible. Terrible fucking things. Cooking for yourself, I mean, that's self-care. If you eat out all the time, forget about it. You're not eating healthy. You're not eating right. I don't know if you've ever noticed the difference between when you eat out or you get food made for you and the difference between a home-cooked meal. And cooking for other people is a joy. Like, it brings me joy to cook for other people, for people that I care about. Cooking for yourself when you're living alone, if you're on your own, cooking for yourself kind of becomes a pain in the ass. So I'll agree with him there. When you're just cooking for yourself, it's like, why should I bother? It's just me. But when you've got people who you care about around you and you want to cook for them, you cook for them, the whole experience is great for everyone. There was an experiment done with rats a little while ago where they were feeding these rats junk food to see what would happen to them. And one of the guys who was feeding one group of rats, every day he would go in and feed them, and he'd spend time with the rats, and he'd pet them, and he'd pat them, and he'd talk to them, and he was really nice to them. The other rats just got the food, and it was all garbage, fast food, takeaway crap, but they were all eating the same food. That one group of rats that the guy spoke to and cared about, they were fine. All the other rats developed obesity and cancers and all sorts of problems from eating this shitty, poisonous food that we take for granted. That we go, oh yeah, but it tastes good. So all the rats died of horrific diseases, but the ones that were being patted and petted and treated like, you know, they weren't just lab rats, they were all fine. There was another experiment done, the milkshake experiment. They made up a batch of milkshakes that were like, I don't know, around 400 calories or 500 calories. And they put them in bottles and they put them in a label. They put labels on them, and one said ultra luxury deluxe milkshakes, 680 calories per serve. And then they put the same milkshakes in a different bottle and they put the label on them, said slim milkshakes. The people who drank, and these were all the same milkshakes. There was no difference in the milkshakes. The people who drank the ones that were marked diet milkshake, low-calorie diet milkshake, their ghrelin stayed the same. The ones that drank the luxury label, all the same milkshake, their ghrelin went down. Ghrelin is a hunger hormone. So the people who thought they were drinking high-calorie milkshakes made their own bodies go, okay, I'm full now. I don't need any more. The ones who thought they were drinking a diet milkshake, they were like, no, I'm still hungry. This is how much your mind and your surroundings affect you. So I just think, I'm guessing that Myron is talking about when you're living alone.
Why? With a meal prep service, you could pay $70, $100 a week, $50 a week, depending on where you live, different pricing.
He's talking about you can be making more money. You can be making more money. You can be pimping hoes. Instead of cooking yourself a meal, you can be pimping hoes. And smacking bitches. And selling drugs. Ripping off grandmas. You can be making that money, son. I guess he's probably talking about he can be streaming more. I don't know. You can be pimping bitches. You can be selling fur hats. You can be selling Snickers bars to diabetic childrens. You can be starting the next Enron. You can be getting hoes to show their pussies on the internet and you take 80%. Just cook yourself a nice steak, Myron. Fuck's sake.
Alcohol means body eating spirit. It's Aramaic. Okay, alcohol. It's not alcohol, it's alcohol. That's the proper translation. That's why it says spirits. Because when you drink alcohol, it is opening you up to a spiritual realm, allowing demons to enter you. Like when you're if you're blacked out drunk, bro, alcohol is literally like the purest form of demon possession.
Wow.
Blacked out drunk is like, that's demon possession. And demons aren't used to being in bodies. So when you see somebody drunk, they're like, eh. It's because the demons doesn't walk in a human body like that.
And some people, when they're drunk, they get fighty. They want to fight people.
Because it's a freaking demon in them. It's not even them. In their body, they're fighting something that's fighting them. And like, you got to understand, like, why alcohol? Why does alcohol evoke demons? Like, okay, well, what is mushrooms? Mushrooms take you in the spiritual realm. It's real, bro. Have you ever had somebody with mushrooms talk on a show or anything? Yeah, bro, it is real. That is a real realm they are going to. But guess what? Mushrooms grow out of poop. They grow out of dead stuff. You are eating something from the realm of rot and decay. Guess what that's gonna bring you? Demons.
Damn.
Bro, you eat from the realm of rot and decay. It's gonna take you to the spiritual realm, but in a violating form. Okay, what is alcohol? It's rotted juice. It's from the realm of death. It's rotted juice. You drink alcohol, it's gonna evoke something in you. And like, bro, it's bringing you into that realm. It's bringing you closer to the realm of dead. Jeez. And then you start to see stuff. You start to experience things. Or alcohol, you get body-eating spirit. You get demons coming into you, controlling you.
That is true, but what I will say is sobriety fucking sucks. It's very hard to be sober all the time. That's all I'll say. It'd be nice if someone invented some other way to just get a little bit fucking altered without having to bring the demons in. Anyway, I can't remember what I was going to say about that video. I'm not going to play the whole thing of this video, but I just thought this is fucking hilarious. Oh, maybe I will play the whole video. It kind of deserves to be played. It's really like... I can't even remember his name.
Franklin? Can I ask you a question without you getting offended? Sure, Charlie Brown. What is it? Why can't black people forget about slavery? I mean, it ended all those years ago, and yet when something happens with your people, it's brought back up. Why? Well, do you have a pretty good vivid imagination? I think so. What should I imagine? Imagine that I knocked all your teeth out your fucking head.
He goes, there's more to the video, but I just like stopping it there. Imagine I knocked all your teeth out your fucking head. Alright, we'll play a bit more of the video. Just for context, but I just love stopping it there.
How soon do you think that you'd forget? Well, I probably wouldn't forget anytime soon. Especially since my teeth were gone. Exactly. And you would probably forgive me, but you would never forget. And the only time it's brought up is when something remotely similar happens. Wow. What on earth could possibly be similar to slavery, Franklin? I don't know if you knew this or not, but lynchings never stopped.
Anyway. All right, so let's get back into some stuff that's going on in Australia here. So this is a guy called Ozpill. Around various platforms. And it's quite interesting.
Are you Australian?
Yeah.
Do you call yourself an Australian?
Just piss off.
No Australian nationalists allowed?
Fake Australian nationalist. You are a Nazi.
I'm the fake Australian.
Yeah.
Why is a brown Jew trying to talk about Australia? Like, I don't understand. Like, does he think that any of us under the age of 30 believe that he's an Australian? I don't know about you. When I think of the land down under, I don't think of a brown, a self-righteous Jew. Avi Yemini, it's a funny name. That's the same Avi Yemini who was willing to put his life on the line for the IDF, never made his way to Australia's recruiting office. I hate to break it to you, Avi. We don't fall for this anymore. You are Jewish. You are not Australian. It does not matter how long you have lived in Australia. It doesn't matter how much you can walk around and speak with the Crocodile Dundee accent. You are not Australian. You're of the tribe. You're of the chosen. You have a place. My forefathers were dumb enough to let you have it, so go there. And then when you're there, hope to God that you can squeeze just enough money out of the American people to get your way militarily and not be doomed. Because we're not giving you any more money. We're sick of arrogant, sniveling faces, of foreign voices coming into nationalist movements, policing how we speak, policing what we think, because it wouldn't be friendly to you. You're not Australian. You're not a patriot. Fuck off.
That's a nice little message to Avi Yemini. I hate to break it to you boys, though, but we're still giving them money. They're still getting our dollars. Whether it's directly from the government or it's just from local businesses. It's because they have their thing. That's another thing, though. Why they're always talking about our forefathers. And this guy is talking about my two dads. Well, who's more confused? The guy with 2 dads or 4 dads? This is Roseanne Barr just going off the deep end.
The marriage of Christianity and Islam, which has killed the Jews and hate the Jews, and Chrislam, they want to be the world's, the one world religion, because they want control of Jewish lands with no Jews in them.
Let me.
And we never talk about it because we're not allowed to.
Well, there's a lot of conversation going on about Israel today. That's for sure.
All bullshit. All 100% Muslim Brotherhood bullshit. That's who controls our media, not the Jews. The Muslim Brotherhood controls our media.
Really?
Now, I don't know if that's an AI video. There's something about it that seems off. It seems, I don't know, maybe she's had taken another pill that's going to get in trouble. But yeah, I don't know. I think that just seems a little bit too AI for my liking. Rewriting history. I'm not going to bother with that. Rewriting history. Why is the black doll cheaper? This woman, I don't really care about the message. I'm not commenting on that. This is about them banning trans girls from the girl guides, and yeah, I get why they did. Everyone gets why they did it. What I'm talking about with this video, though, is the way this woman speaks is a problem. She comes at people like she's your mother. It's really... Just check out some of the phrases she uses.
Which idiots have come up with this idea? Exclusion of young trans girls simply because of their gender identity. Is there a hate group behind this? Have you been listening to people you shouldn't be listening to?
Have you been listening to people you shouldn't be listening to? When are they going to get it through their heads that people do not like to be spoken to like this? When are they going to figure this shit out? I don't know. That just kind of drives me nuts. With this whole like, just speak to people like they're your equals. Stop speaking down to people. Is my point. These people are they're just terrible people. They cannot seem to they just can't seem to converse in any other way than as though they're the parent. I thought this was interesting. This is just another one about preferences and how you're not allowed to have them.
I'm not into black women.
Oh. Why is this always the answer? I need to know this right now. So you think I'm ugly?
No, that's not it. You're conventionally a very pretty girl. It's just a preference. I actually tried to kind of see a black girl for a little bit, but I just couldn't, like, get into it. Like, I mean, if a girl's half, it's different. But, like, a girl who's, like, fully black, for some reason, it's just...
So it's just, like, a preference of skin tone. So you don't like black people?
No, I love black people, but I'm just not attracted sexually to black women.
If a white man says with his full chest that he fancies women that are mixed with black and white, but does not fancy women that are black alone, no matter how calm and polite his tone may be, or how many black friends he claims to have after saying them, the reason his comment is dripping in prejudice and not at all a preference is because the difference between those two ladies is that one of them has a closer proximity to whiteness. And we
See, now this woman here is probably the exact reason he's not into black girls. Because I went to the Awkward Giraffe thing, the closing of it, the other night, and there's a black guy there. He hung around, and then he just started talking about race, and he wouldn't drop it, and he wouldn't let anyone else talk. And then he started talking about our dead friend, and he wouldn't let anyone else talk, and he just wouldn't shut the fuck up. And it's like, it becomes this thing. It's like, people love their own drama. This is the thing that people get off on most in the world, and so they inflict it on other people. And I was trying to bring up to him the study that was done where there was like, they put like makeup scars on women, and then sent them in for an interview. But what they didn't know is before they went into the interview, they said, we're just going to touch up your makeup a bit. And they took the scars off because they were fake scars. And they sent them into the interview. And they came back and reported that the interviewer was just constantly looking at their scars, and they don't think the interview went well because of the scars and all this. And then they showed them their faces in the mirror and said, well, look, you don't have the scars. So what else could it have been? And they were like, well, I thought it was the scars. And it's like, that's that the whole thing, the race thing, for a lot of people, it's in your head. I know there's some people out there that, you know, whatever, they don't like. But it's the same as, like, if I went to Africa, I would stand out as a white guy because I'm in someone else's country. If someone came into my house and I didn't know them, I might be a little suspicious. I might be like, okay, I want to assess you. I want to find out what you're about. I'm not just going to welcome people into my house and just be like, yeah, come in. I'm not racist. Do whatever you want. No, I'm going to fucking, if I see a stranger, it doesn't matter if they're white, black, brown, Asian, whatever they are. I'm going to be like, who the fuck is this stranger? So if you see a stranger, I don't know. That's my take on it. And I don't know. I don't know what their experience is, so Republican pushes bill to hold judges accountable for releasing violent repeat criminals. I think that's probably a good move. That seems like a good move. I called this episode Pavlov's flight log just because the flight logs, Epstein just keeps getting brought up. Probably a better name would have been Schrodinger's flight logs, Schrodinger's list, because so many people are on the list but not on the list at the same time, or they're on the flight logs but they didn't go to the island, or they went to the island but they just went for the fishing. Yeah, they got a great fucking marimba band there. I love marimba. I'm a big fan of the marimba. I just love marimba. And Epstein had the best marimba band. Oh, man. This is very interesting. I do love a bit of playing around with symbolism. I found this one very interesting, the ChatGPT symbol. When you invert it, when you flip it and lay it over itself, it's quite fascinating. So he takes it, copies it, flips it, and now lays it over itself, and watch what happens. Oh dear. Isn't that interesting? It's a bit like when you take the X symbol and you like zoom out and you get the Freemason symbol. Symbolism is just, it's wild. Truth bombs to the leaders of the West. I thought this guy made a lot of good points, but again, there are some of the points that are like, well, you know, you're not saints. You're not saints. But anyway, let's hear what he has to say, because he does make a lot of good points.
What kind of people will wake up in the morning to go and make weapons?
You guys.
To kill other people.
Yeah, you guys.
Are you okay? You come to Africa, you dig up the whole place and leave mining dumps, poisoning rivers with cyanide.
They do have a point there. The fucking companies just go over there and just poison their fucking rivers. You can't even swim in the local rivers. I mean, rivers are meant to be a place where you can go and swim, you can collect water. I'd like to farm some salt from the sea, but there is nowhere I would trust to go and get uncontaminated salt because of industry.
Only to bring the gold and put it in a warehouse somewhere here you call a vault. You come to Africa, you animals, only to collect the horns and leaving the meat to rot on the ground. Are you okay? And then when they see us putting on skins like this, they want to look like they're conservationists. No, you can't be putting on animal skins, but you're sitting on a leather chair with leather shoes, with a leather belt. Are you okay in your head?
That's a good point.
With a leather car.
Yep.
What kind of hypocrisy is that? You pollute the whole world with carbon. Then you come around and say, please, let's do some green energy. Shut your industries up if you're talking about green energy. You have lied to us for too long. And the honeymoon of lies is over.
Oh, he's got us there. Yep. I don't buy the thing about who gets up in the morning and makes weapons. They do. Everyone does. Every people on the planet, they make weapons. This is not exclusive, although, you know, we have made an industry about it, but that's what we do. Why elites don't want you to be Muslim. This is an interesting point of view. This was very interesting. I kind of like this. I will be restreaming this to other platforms. I will restream it to YouTube when my ban lifts, when my strike lifts. And if I get another strike on YouTube, well, fuck YouTube. Fuck YouTube. Fucking tube. Anyway, the elite don't want you to become Muslim.
The elite don't want you to become Muslim for two reasons. Let me explain why. And I always say to follow the money. See where the money trail is, and you'll uncover people's true intentions.
Yep.
Because think about it. If everyone was to become Muslim, that's the $1.6 trillion alcohol industry gone. The $500 billion gambling industry gone. The $50 billion adult and pornography industry, which is growing by 5.6% each year, gone. Hollywood, gone. Interest-based loans that the world banks rely on, gone. It is economical suicide for everyone to become Muslim. Because being a Muslim makes your ambitions anti-consumerism and promotes a disciplined lifestyle. The exact thing they don't want you to do. Because if you become disciplined, you become difficult to sell to and difficult to control. And this is why the elites are working day and night to program your children to lose their sense of shame and become people who will follow their lusts, feelings and desires. Because think about it. Whenever in history have we had such a strong push on stimulating the sexual mind of children? Because if you can make them follow their desires, you can sell, control, and profit off of them. And the only stronghold and defense against this hideous ideology in this world right now is Islam. And that's why they don't want you to become Muslim. Now you know.
He makes a lot of good points. He makes a lot of good points. I have this joke that I do about, like, you know, we all make bad choices. You know, when you look at, like, the Jews were God's chosen people, you're like, well, you know, even God made some bad choices. Maybe it's true he went off and found Muhammad because he was just after, like, 600 years with the Jews. He's like, I can't with these fucking Jews anymore. I gotta go off and find some dude in the desert somewhere. Just not a Jew. Anyone but a Jew. That's my little joke about that. But yeah, he makes a lot of good points. I mean, the whole thing about pitting Christians and Muslims against each other, and saying there's a guy out there somewhere that keeps saying Muslims and Jews have been besties forever, it's Christians that are a problem. And there's another guy that says Christians and Jews, well, they believe in the Abrahamic God, so it's Muslims that are the problem. But Muslims believe in the Abrahamic God, so it's just this constant, like, do not let these people get together. Do not let these people figure this shit out. It's quite interesting to think about. Because imagine if we did all just suddenly stop drinking, gambling, taking loans, watching porn, all that shit. Just, it'd be a collapse. It'd be a collapse. Louis C.K., definitely one of the funniest motherfuckers on the planet. But his entire comedy comes from subversion. And the person who put up this video said this is what the left sounds like right now. And they do. This is what they sound like. Because that whole Iraqis marrying a 9-year-old shit, that's why we need borders. Honestly. Like, fuck you and your open borders bullshit, because see, when I hear shit like that, I'm like, let's keep the borders, shall we? Because fuck you, that's why. Anyway, my joke about Louis is his name is Louis C.K. And I've always said, and he is, like, he has Jewish heritage, I've always said the C.K. stands for Christ Killer.
But my feeling is they should open it, the border, and just let them pour in, let everybody pour in, and then the answer, which is, well, then there'll be all these problems. Yes, there should be. It shouldn't be so great here, is what I'm saying, in America. It shouldn't be. It's a weird thing to sequester a certain group of people and try to keep upping their lifespan and their lifestyle, and just keep trying to increase that for this group of people, and then this pressure of people trying to come in so they can enjoy it. And then it gets worse and worse down here. I mean, I'm not Canada. It's really just from down here. There's something wrong with that. That's not a system that's working, and it forces people to do cruel things to other people. There's a lot of people that die so Americans can be safe. They're just dying, weddings that are drone bombed in Yemen because a guy said something that might have resulted in American insecurity. Not even like definite American deaths, but like just so we can breathe a little easier. Folks die, and folks do labor in unsafe places so that we can keep the prices where we like them. There's so much about American life that other people pay for. That's part of it, but also it's not good for us either. It's not a good way to live in a gated community. If you let folks pour in like any other wave, it'll kind of slosh, and then things will be different. I don't know, like, what'll really happen? A bunch of people, like, will they just come with knives and start killing everybody? I don't think so.
So that's the, rather than dismantling an evil, fucked up system, just open up, let it all burn. I guess that's one way to do it. I know that's Axel's solution. He wants to see everything burn. He's kind of the Joker in his attitude towards things. Just collapse everything and rebuild, which is one way to do it. But I don't really think that the idea that someone has built something good means that you need to let everyone overrun that thing which is good. Not that America's particularly good, but not that Australia's particularly good anymore. Not that England's good anymore, or Europe, or any of it. It's all gone downhill. I just don't think that's the answer. I think uplift others is more the answer. Anyway, let's see what other videos I've got here. I've got a ton of videos, but yeah, fuck that guy. I don't want to talk about him. This is quite, just hold your hats for this one. Now, we all know that the Nazis were evil, but did you know how evil? Watch this. Nazis dress up a dog in a party hat and glasses and make it smoke a pipe. Oh dear God. Probably the worst thing the Nazis ever did. Right here. Anyway, I thought that was kind of funny. What else we got? Oh, this is terrible. If women have to do this to enjoy a drink, look at this. This shouldn't be. Isn't it terrible that we live in a world where they make it so hard to drug women? Come on, you like drugs. You like Bill Cosby. International migrants' share of... who's the lowest? Who's the lowest? We got the Netherlands. All right, it's missing a few countries. Fuck that shit. I don't want to talk about that. This looks kind of fun. I don't know what the fuck's going on here, but this looks kind of fun. Anyway, as always, it's been a gas. I'll try to do more of these in the coming days. We'll see you later.